We put the State of the Nation address behind us, although we'll be taking a look at what was said and what was not said. And we will discuss that at length this morning. But before any of that, I just want to remind all of you that you are watching us on Signal TV. And if you're not, and if you're watching us on Facebook, well, you might want to get a subscription with Signal TV, and I'll explain to you when I read the news later. You are watching us now on Signal TV channels 8 and 250, or on the One News Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/One News PH and One News YouTube. One News PH. Okay, now today we will be interviewing. We're going to back to the normal flow of things. We'll revisit this problem with the PhilHealth. Medyo, ayan na naman, pag may disgruntled na naman, ayan, o may bagong administration sa PhilHealth, ayan, after a year, ewan ko kung nakaisang taon na yung si Sir Rick Morales dyan sa PhilHealth, because that seems to be the history of PhilHealth. Pinapaupo yung magiging presidente, pinapa-warm up, pinapabuelo, and pag nakabuelo na, biglang, oops, may mga titira na, and there's a reshuffle. Tawag nga dyan, hindi na PhilHealth, merry-go-round na siguro, o kaya ang tawag nila, yung turnstile, o may paikot-ikot lang ang tao. Then we will discuss yesterday's SONA, or what was not said in yesterday's SONA, with our regular columnist from the business world, Nonoy Oplas. And last but not the least, we are going to give a chance to the Assistant Secretary Joseph Encabo, the man who has been put in the hot spot regarding yung pong mga LSI sa Rizal Memorial Stadium. Kung kayo ay nagpe-Facebook, makikita nyo na talagang Reco, talo pa yung laro ng Ginebra at San Miguel na pang-championship. Sobrang punong-puno yung Rizal Memorial Stadium ng mga locally stranded individuals, and it basically defied logic, it defied common sense, and it defied the standard operating procedures and protocols set by the IATF. Now, ang sagot naman daw po ng mga taong in charge, we have to allow compassion to prevail kasi hindi na ho namin pwedeng pabayaan. We'll hear more about that. But we'll go to our news for today. And here are the stories from the front page of the Philippine Star. Reassuring the nation in the midst of a pandemic, President Rodrigo Duterte said in his fifth State of the Nation address, "Let us not despair," as he also said that a vaccine for COVID-19 is just around the corner. The president also revealed that he has urged Chinese President Xi Jinping to prioritize the Philippines if China develops a vaccine for the virus. Duterte admitted that the government still has to improve on its response against COVID-19. Among other things that the president discussed in his SONA are his warning against telcos to improve its services, the use of television frequencies for education, and the pursuit of paperless transactions in government agencies. Next, protests during President Duterte's fifth SONA were generally peaceful according to the Philippine National Police or PNP. That is despite the arrest of 34 demonstrators in various places such as Quezon City, Marikina, and Caloocan. But apart from that, PNP said the situation was orderly and that no untoward incidents took place. Around 6,000 police officers went on duty to secure the president's SONA. Next, in other news, the chief of the National Center for Mental Health, or NCMH, and his driver were shot dead along Tandang Sora Avenue in Quezon City. NCMH Director Roland Cortez, 61, and employee Ernesto de la Cruz, 46, were in a car when they were fired upon by the suspects at around 7 in the morning. According to the police reports, Cortez had just left his home when the shooting happened. Investigators said they have yet to determine the identities of the suspect and motive for the killing. And those are the main stories on the front page of the Philippine Star. But on the back page of the Philippine Star is a story and a headline that I am sure so many of you, sigurado po ako, marami sa inyo matutuwa. At kung kayo ay nanonood ng agenda sa Facebook, malamang at malamang ito na ang dahilan kung bakit pupunta na rin kayo sa Signal TV. Ayan po, no? Tingnan nyo po ng maigi. Ayan, NBA Home at Signal. Okay, mapapanood nyo na ang NBA games sa Signal. Basahin ko lang po yung first paragraph nito. It's back and it's here to stay. Yes, the NBA, so dear to basketball crazy Filipinos, has found a new home in Signal TV, the biggest pay TV provider in the country. We are very excited, said Signal and TV5 President and CEO Robert Galang yesterday after the Dream Partnership was finally signed, sealed, and delivered. It's a 3-year contract between the NBA and Signal, and it includes airing what's left of the NBA season that was halted by the deadly pandemic. So yung natira, yung hindi pa nalalaro, mapapanood ninyo dito sa season na ito. It's we will fire it off on July 31. Tandaan nyo, July 31, said Guido Zaballero, First Vice President and Head of Marketing of Signal, which boasts 2.3 million subscribers and counting. Yan ang mga headline, okay? Ayan, nakita nga, ang galing talaga ng Agenda Dream Team. Nakakuha ka agad yung poster, ano? The game you love is home. NBA is now on Signal TV, TV5, and ayan na po, One News PH. Ayan, whole new game. Ayan, mabuti na yung may pampasaya. Kasi alam ko po, there were quite a number of you who were, how should I say, disappointed. Let's be honest, disappointed. Bagamat sabi ko nga sa inyo kahapon, if the president says something that doesn't suit you or doesn't sit well with you, okay lang yun. Sonan niya yun eh. And let's not add to the negativity of the situation. But there were a lot of you who support the government, who believe in the country, love the country, na medyo parang, teka, yun na ba yun? Yun na yung moving forward plan ni Presidente? We will tackle that later. But in the meantime, ayun pwede na kayo manood July 31 NBA. Pero wag niyo naman akong iiwanan. In any case, let's move on to our first interview. The time is 8:09. Our first interview is the President and CEO of PhilHealth. Retired Brigadier General Ricardo Morales is going to join us now. I hope he's there. Sir Rick, good morning.
Hi, Cito. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, balik na tayo sa regular programming. Tapos na yung SONA, so ikaw naman ngayon na nakataya.
I was hoping it would take some of the heat off.
Hindi, actually, I think it's best that, sabi nga nila, if you put a plate of microbes and germs and the good positive things under the sunlight, it will kill it. Now,
I'll take that as a compliment. Okay.
Yeah, you expose it in the light, then we will kill what's not good, di ba? The question is, Ano ba ito, Sir Rick? Kasi, I have been, and I don't work for you guys. I have no consultancy with you guys. I don't even have good friends in your organization. I have, contacts, but I can't for the life of me figure this out. Why is it that every time there is a new management in PhilHealth, like yours, no?
Mhm.
Nakailang buwan ka ba dyan sa PhilHealth?
Well, umabot ako ng isang taon.
Isang
About
taon.
a year. Yeah.
Exactly my point.
Cycle. It's a cycle.
Oo, hindi. Kasi ito ang problema ko eh. Para bang pinaabot lang ng isang taon, pagkatapos meron ng titira, meron ng puputak, parang itlog ng inahin. I don't know, no? Pag yung inahin ng itlog, paglabas ng itlog, putak, putak, putak. 1 year ka, ayun, may pumuputak na naman. Ano
Yeah.
ba yan?
But, Chito, the point is that anecdote you repeated na every year nagpapalit, that
Oo.
means that replacing the PCEO does not solve the problem.
Okay.
Replacing the PCEO does not solve the problem.
And to be fair, no, not to compliment you or anything, but even your predecessors were good and decent men and women. Pero
Well,
yan ang
good
legacy.
intention.
Yan
Good
lahat.
intentions are not good enough.
Okay, replacing the president CEO is not the solution. Every year or less than a year may pumuputak
Even
na inahin.
kahit
And
na
now
weekly, kahit na weekly papapalitan, hindi mawawala tong problema na.
Okay, let's clarify kasi baka may mga senador diyan magkomentaryo yan si Beltran talaga mahina mag-interview yan puro kwento, no. Okay, para malinaw tayo, ano ba pinagmulan? Ano ba ang punot dulo nito?
Well, it's a systemic problem.
Hmm.
Good intentions, being honest, hardworking, coming from Davao, whatever, it will not solve the problem if the right thing is not being done. Now, what is the right thing to do? To fix the information system and clean up the membership database. Those are the two things that have to be done. And from day one, that was what I was saying. If you want to eliminate fraud and corruption in PhilHealth, you must fix the information system and clean up the database. That is the right thing to do.
Okay, ngayon, sino naman itong Torson Montesquit na ito? Kasi
yeah.
anong connection niyang Torson Montesquit na yan sa internet or IT system na you are espousing?
No connection whatever, except some people are using that issue to, exacerbate the
Okay.
challenges facing PhilHealth. Kasi yung IT, look, Cito,
Yeah.
every year, next year, we're supposed to spend 240 billion benefits. And we are given a budget of 2.1 billion over 3 years, IT budget. That's not even 1% of what we're supposed to spend. So you ask any IT expert, this is very much lower than what industry demands, the industry standard.
Uh-huh.
So yun ang problema dyan. Inadequate yung budget eh. And then we have board members who are not IT experts. I'm not an IT expert. I don't pretend to be an IT expert, but I accept that I'm not an IT expert, and I rely on consultants, experts to tell me about IT system and IT system development.
Okay.
Pero may mga board members who are not IT experts who insist to become experts before they decide, and if they do not understand what is being explained to them, sinasabi nila niloloko sila. Yun ang problema eh.
Okay, then why not just get the DICT and the
Precisely.
National Computer Center sa University of the Philippines?
Yeah. Kung pwede ka, baka meron pang Senate Oversight Committee sa IT kung gusto nila eh. Basta yung talagang IT expert lang. I'm willing to do that, yes.
So am I correct in what I'm getting from you that your main thrust is the introduction of IT in PhilHealth para maalis yung corruption, ma-clean up yung membership, ma-track yung mga payments. Pero may mga kontra sa IT system in place or may mga nagmamarunong kasi meron silang tinutulak na mga IT providers and then biglang pinapaputok na lang sa media na maraming kabalastugan pa rin dyan sa PhilHealth. Kasi ang general impression is nakawan sa PhilHealth. Pero ang hindi yata lumalabas is yung internal calisthenics o gymnastics din nyo dyan sa board at saka yung vested interest ng mga iba. What's the score, sir?
Well, that's all true. Pero hindi pa tayo umabot doon. Wala pa namang proposal kasi sa mga contract sa IT. Kasi hindi pa nga na-approve eh. So, but yeah, yan ang conflict. But if you want to talk about fraud, as I said, an organization as huge as PhilHealth, there's bound to be some inefficiencies. And there is a study conducted in, I think, 2017 by a UP team headed by Dr. Lam that estimated the fraud index ng PhilHealth is about 7.9%. In other words, out of every peso that we pay out, 8 centavos of that is lost to fraud. So if you use a base, 240 billion, that's an enormous amount, almost 19 billion lost to fraud. These are estimates, no estimates. Now, if you're losing 19 billion to fraud, why will you spend 2 billion on an IT system over 3 years? Masyado yatang inadequate yun.
Eh, sinong gumawa nung patakaran na yun?
Well, successively kasi, meron kaming ISSP project. Over the years, it has been steadily reduced. Reduced kasi yung approach, let's save money on IT instead of making it robust enough so that we can prevent fraud. It's, yung sinikasabihan na penny wise, dollar foolish. That is which is the flawed approach. So dapat palitan yung approach na yan, yung doctrine o yung strategy.
Eh, yan din naman ang sinasabi ni Presidente Duterte, di ba? Sinabi ni Presidente na I do not believe in this lowest bidder system. You get basura. But in this case, no, because I'm seriously concerned. We're talking about billions and billions of pesos in payout. Pero tinitipid yung IT. Now, do you acknowledge that the corruption, the losses is significant? Kasi pag sinabi mong 8 centavos to the peso, billion ang pinag-uusapan, hindi biro. Now, do you acknowledge yung ginawang study ng Tiga-UP or is it worse now?
Well, I can only say that these are right now inefficiencies kasi we do not have proof. This is an estimate. Yung sa UP. And then titignan mo yung libro natin, wala naman tayong account na corruption eh. Or yung draft. There's no account in the books. It's embedded somewhere. It will need forensic audit to extract that. But we have no other. This is a rigorous study conducted by experts over time. So I think it has some credibility, some substance. So we're not ignoring it.
Okay, let me go back to that first impression I got that there is a disagreement in the board regarding what is prudent and what is wise in terms of expenditures for IT. Is that disagreement limited to simply because each of you have your own opinion? Or meron na bang from the very beginning, even before Rick Morales came in, may pattern na ba na ino-oppose itong IT na ito? Kasi pag nagkaroon ng IT, magkakaalaman talaga ng kalokohan dyan sa PhilHealth.
Una, it's not the board but only one member of the board, one specific member. And I think it's more due to ignorance or lack of information na yung position na yan.
Okay. How do you resolve the problem? Because, I mean, does one person hold the entire army, block the entire army from staging the war against corruption in PhilHealth?
Well, we are a collegial body. Ang problema kasi sa taong to, nilabas niya yung internal document to media. For example, yung internal audit, which is an internal corporate document, he leaked it outside the corporation, which is a violation of his oath of confidentiality.
Oh.
So, yung raw, incomplete information, anybody can, go to them, have his own holiday, what to do with this document. Yan ang problema, nirelease niya eh.
I have to confess, I don't know who you're talking about. Baka
Yeah.
malamang kilala ko pa yan, but I won't go there, no? Ang tanong, Sir Rick, can't you bring that up with the Secretary of Health? Kasi
I did.
I know na busy-busy yung mama, pero we're talking billions of pesos being if inefficiently squandered. Has the Secretary of Health done anything about it?
Yeah, I did. The president directed Secretary Kitain to investigate this matter. So it's sub judice. So I will leave it at
Okay.
that.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
okay lang. So at least na-address na yung discord or disagreement sa board. Now, nako, ito, ang dami na biglang nagtatanong dito. Mamaya ako nababasahin. Nakaka-distract kayong mga doktor kayo. Okay, sandali. Ano naman yung Torson Montes kit na yan? Na-front page pa. Sabi ko, wow, ang bigat siguro ng storya nito. Na-front page pa.
Well, if he's an anti-fraud officer, why did he not bring his data to management? I mean, that was his job. That was his item, anti-fraud. And then,
Okay.
I made a mistake and I have to admit it. I said I denied that he was an anti-fraud officer because he was assigned to my office, OP, Office of the President. There are no anti-fraud officers in the Office of the President. There are anti-fraud officers in the legal sector, yung mga fact-finding investigation. So that's the reason. That was my mistake. So yes, he was an anti-fraud officer, but he was doing special concerns in my office. That's why sinabi ko na hindi siya anti-fraud officer. So if he had that information which is coming out with right now, why did he not bring it to management? That was part of his job description. Why did he not do it?
Pero ano yung nabasa ko na nagkasigawan daw sa board or on Zoom conference, kanya niya hindi na
Ayun yung
nilabas yan.
sa Malacanang. Wala naman si Torson doon. He was not there.
Okay. So what is the status of Thorson? Is his claims of widespread irregularities valid, or is he just a dissatisfied former? Tinerminate ba ninyo?
Yeah, we had to terminate. No reason. He came to me asking for a job, yung position, regional vice president. He's been only with PhilHealth a few months and contractual. So marami namang mas senior sa kanya sa, PhilHealth has a seniority protocol.
Yes.
Hindi naman basta-basta na, so he will be riding roughshod over all the others who have been with the organization long enough and more experienced, so therefore more qualified. So I refused him. Ayun siguro yung getting back na hindi siya binigyan ng pwesto.
Have you ever considered ipa-job out yung IT requirements ng
Yes.
PhilHealth to DICT or the National Computer Center?
I'm looking at Google and Microsoft, Cito. But
Sorry, local. So, pang-local lang po ako. Nationalistic kasi ako, no? Ayoko ibigay yung pera natin sa mga kano.
kaya lang, pag 2.1 billion ang budget mo, mom and pop computer shop ang makukuha mo niyan. It has to have, the adequate budget to support that. Why get a local street corner computer shop when you can get a global player with the size of your operation?
Okay. Okay, but can we afford it? I mean, what's your budget a year? Can you afford Google or Microsoft or whoever?
Well, if we want to avoid these losses, yes, we can afford it. We should afford it.
Oh, okay. Can you give me a number? Cost versus losses?
Ayun na nga, yung 8 centavos out of every peso could be fraudulent. That's an estimate. That's an estimate.
Oo. So,
So,
I mean, total.
if,
Ano yung total annual?
yeah. Kung 240 billion, for example, ang benefit payments ng PhilHealth, so we're talking about 19 billion a year.
19 billion.
Potential fraud.
Okay, ngayon magkano ibabaya sisingil sa'yo ng Microsoft o ng Google kung
Hindi pa
sakasakali?
natin alam. Hindi pa natin alam.
Aha, okay. But what about state security, mga ganon, hindi ba sensitive?
Confidentiality, the lawyers will make sure that we are protected.
Okay. So we've covered the option is there either to work with the DICT, National Computer Center, or to go to a major global player like Google, etc. Ngayon, yung mga, paano naman yung position mo? Kasi, alam mo, Sir Rick, medyo, I have a bad feeling about all of this because of history. You are the fourth or fifth PhilHealth president I know who has been asked to leave.
Ano to flash?
Hindi ko nga alam, sir eh. Akala ko kayo nag-flash nun eh. Parang announcement.
Letterhead ng PhilHealth yan.
Oo. Baka kako meron kang ano eh. Okay. May nagtatanong kasi kanina ito, no? Pakisagot mo na ito para ma-delete ko na. Hello, Cito. We hear stories that doctors and hospital commit fraud by categorizing cases as more severe than what is so they can charge more to PhilHealth. For example, if someone has a bad cold, they'll categorize it as pneumonia so they can charge more. Or pneumonia, sasabihin COVID. Kasi naging scam ito sa states eh. Naging issue ito na kasi may package o ilagay na natin lahat COVID. Dito po sa Pilipinas, what are your controls for such false or exaggerated claims?
Tawag dyan, upcasing.
Upcasing, ayun, may natutunan na naman ako. Okay.
Suki. Marami yan, marami. Well,
marami.
Of course, we have the form that they have to fill, the reimbursement form that they have to fill, and then we do domiciliary visits with the patient. But if you're serving 12 to 14 million patients a year, you know how much the domiciliary visits can you do. So still, information system pa rin naman susolve dyan. Information system pa rin. If we have biometrics, we know the patient is alive when the service was given and there is no duplication. We can make sure na walang fraud. But again, IT system yan.
Pero wala ba kayong capability maski na konti lang yung computers niyo dyan and IT experts? Because I remember about, I think 10 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, the PhilHealth back then exposed yung scam ng mga ilang OB-GYN na nakunan or dinugo, biglang kailangan DNC, dilate and cuterage or something. They were able to kind of figure it out, and pati yung sa cataracts, PhilHealth shut that down. But ano nang status nyo ngayon?
Healthcare is very vulnerable to fraud because hindi natin maalis yung face-to-face transaction ng pasyente tsaka pasyente tsaka physician. Both of them collude. It's very difficult to prove fraud. Worldwide, even the national health system of the UK, sa states, ang dami niyan. Even Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, all of this experience fraud sa healthcare system nila. And more so sa atin. But an information system is not going to eliminate, hindi masisiro yan, but it will reduce it significantly. Significantly.
Alam mo, Sir Rick, siguro in the short time you've come to know me during our exchanges, alam mo na medyo barako rin ako. And my rule in life is, let's simplify the situation, sampulan. Wala. Meron na ba
Yeah,
kayong
yeah.
publicly na sampulan? Kasi alam nyo, yan yung ginawa natin nun sa DVD, di ba? Yung mga computer programs ng mga peke. Noong biglang pinaglalabas ng NBI, yung mga nahuli nila, tapos ni-require silang mag-publish ng public apology, etc. para hindi sila makulong, natigil itong mga kalokohan na ito, at least drastically reduced fraud. In fact, in terms of intellectual property in the Philippines, we've been removed from the bad black sheep list. Eh dito sa PhilHealth, honestly, Sir Rick, parang wala pa ako nadidinig na shame campaign ninyo.
Yeah, the most prominent siguro, I'm sure you remember, yung WellMed, yung dialysis last year.
Oh.
Yeah, we provided the data to the NBI and to the Department of Justice, and they filed the case. Kasi we have a memorandum of agreement with these agencies that we we provide the evidence, they file the case. And actually, the ball is in their court. And we have been providing documents to them. And yun. Now,
But
internally, we are conducting an investigation.
Yeah, but in terms of actual arrest conviction, kasi yun yata yung hinahanap o kailangan makita ng tao. We need to see that, okay, hey, they caught someone and now we know his name, we now know what he did. Parang ganon. Kasi, I mean, fraud comes in various ways. You said upcasing. Meron nga dyan, mga peking doktor pa, peking clinic.
Yeah. Well, the WellMed case could be a case in point of what happens, because I understand there were some technical issues with the filing of the case. So parang na-technicality
Exactly.
yun eh.
Oh.
Na-technicality. But again, PhilHealth did not file the case. It was the Department of Justice that filed the case.
Okay, well, I'll leave it at that, Sir Rick, and I hope na you get what you want in terms of IT technology, pero watch your back. Kasi
While
baka...
I'm still here.
Okay. Eh, hindi, may sinabi naman ng Malacanang that you still enjoy the president's trust and confidence. Pero alam mo, marami ring doon sa pumapali-aligid doon na gustong makontrol yung PhilHealth. In any case, thank you very much, Sir Rick. I think our viewers got a better picture of the situation.
Yeah,
And
good,
I
good.
hope more power to you, sir.
Thank you, Cito, and regards to everyone. Stay negative.
Okay, I will stay negative for COVID-19. Please stay strong, stay healthy, and God bless you. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
that's
Thank you.
Sir Rick Morales, President CEO of PhilHealth. And to sum it up, medyo hindi po corruption ang issue, palagay ko eh. And yun ang pinalalabas ng mga politiko, no? I think more than anything, aside from all the controversy, brick-brat, etc., we need to address that IT need of PhilHealth, because that's the only way you can record, monitor, track, and investigate all the transactions. At doon po nagkakahulihan. Ang LTO, I remember, introduced that system, and hindi na kailangan yung magbabayad ka physically. Pwede online banking with land bank, etc. Alam nyo, may mga pumalag doon sa mga probinsya. May mga pumalag. Mga taong LTO pumalag. Bakit? Eh kasi hindi na pwedeng may picture, hindi na pwede yung may lump sum parehistro, etc. We'll go for a quick break at nilalagnat na yung aking EP, pero yun po, IT is the problem, IT is the solution. We'll go for a quick break and we'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda, and you are watching us via Signal TV, channels 8 and 250, and on One News PH on Facebook and on YouTube. Okay, kanina po, I was kind of embarrassed when I was listening to the response of Rick Morales of PhilHealth. But I think yung Tagalog word is more appropriate. Parang napahiya ako. Hindi naman napahiyang I was shamed, no? Napahiya ako because we normally think of older people or retired military people as dikahon sila mag-isip, small-minded, etc. Pero alam nyo, when we compared solutions, my solution to their IT problem was, go to the National Computer Center in UP or go to the DICT. Ako yung dikahon mag-isip. Siya, big time siya mag-isip. Big time in the sense na, hey, we're putting out 200 plus billion a year. We should very well invest on getting someone big enough and professional enough to make sure that our IT system, our inputs and ability to track are well managed. And nung sinabi niyang Google, Microsoft, medyo nawawa ko. But it's a good attitude to have because it kind of raises our standards, raises the level, the playing field, and maganda pong pakinggan yung ganun. So I just hope that Rick Morales keeps his job kasi yan po nga ang problema sa PhilHealth. Parang may curse eh. Dapat siguro, Rick Morales, magpa-Jericho walk ka dyan sa opisina ninyo. Pa-Jericho walk mo yan para para maalis na yung sumpa dyan sa PhilHealth na yan. In any case, let's go to our next guest. Our next guest is a regular for Agenda. And I have to qualify the situation. The views and opinions expressed by my guest is his kasi ito pong bisita natin talagang matapang eh. No filter, kung minsan akong kinakabahan. We have with us Nonoy Oplas, columnist of the business world. Nonoy, good morning.
Good morning, Cito. Salamat sa pag-invite ulit. Oo.
Pero gumawa na ako ng qualification eh, qualifier eh. The views and opinions expressed by Nonoy Oplas.
Oo.
In any case, I'm just kidding there, but you are a straight talker and straight shooter ka. So it's all your views are always very refreshing. Ngayon, ang tanong ko, siguro first question ko is, are you one of those who was disappointed, nalungkot because yung kumalat na balitang magkakaroon ng ipepresent ni Pangulong Duterte yung moving forward plan ay hindi raw lumabas? And are you one of those?
You mean yung pagpatuloy ng lockdown?
No, because alam mo, bago kasi nagsona, ang lumalabas sa mga sources sa Malacanang, magpre-present si Presidente ng moving forward plan. Parang bagong plano, ito na
Ah,
yung gagawin natin. Pero sabi ng mga senador, congressman, asan na?
yes, mukhang moving backwards ang ginawa actually ni Presidente kahapon, no. So medyo marami siyang sinabi na na-achieve na ano, okay, granted pwede nating palakpakan 'yon. Pero
Hmm.
inamin din naman niya kasi yung nagkampanya siya until 2016, ang main selling point niya anti-drugs. Tapos doon sa statement niya, so niya kahapon, para lang inamin na sorry, palpa kami. So I would say that marang is an implicit admission ng Presidente na palpak yung kanyang anti-corruption at anti-drugs campaign. Kaya ang ginawa na, babawi na lang ako, bibira na naman ako sa mga oligarchs. So palpak yung anti-corruption, anti-drugs, human rights campaign. So babawi na lang ako, papapugi ako by being anti-dynasty. Kaya binira na naman niya si Lopez, si Pangilinan, at saka si Ayala. Pa-cute. Kaya to a
Okay.
certain extent, hindi siya moving forward but more of moving backwards.
Okay, but I think the President was referring to yung COVID response ng gobyerno more than anything na
Oo.
sinabi niya, admittedly may mga kakulangan kami, may pagkukulang. But Nonoy, I actually discussed this matter with my executive producer, si Gabi. And napag-usapan namin nga yan na nag-apologize si Presidente for the weak, if not failed response to the COVID-19. Ngayon, ang point ko is, why did the President have to do that? Hindi ba dapat ang mga nag-apologize even before SONA ay yung iba't ibang mga cabinet secretaries o officials sa IATF who in specific events, incidents, and pronouncements ay pumalpak. Parang ang nangyari kahapon, parang naging deodorant na naman si Presidente Duterte.
Oo. Actually, tingin ko ayaw nila umamin ng medyo pagkakamali kasi talagang justified eh. So, justified yung endless lockdown, justified yung kung mga pagkukulang nila sa PhilHealth coverage, etc. So, ayun, parang yun ang ginawa niya na yung pagbibira na naman sa so-called oligarchy, parang na lang niya yun eh. Kaya so ayaw umamin ng pagkakamali yung mga ex-generals sa National Task Force, pati sa IATF, ayaw din umamin ni Presidente. Kaya nag-cover na lang sila, patting their back. Kaya medyo hindi maganda. Kasi ang kwan talaga dito, Cito, I'm observing mo on the economic implications of this speech, no? Ang
Yeah,
tingin
please.
ko, babagsak na naman ang stock market ngayon. Before, si mga Lopez and ABS-CBN lang binibira niya, tapos last December yung telecom. So telecom, water and telecom, water and electricity ang binibira niya. So while we can judge the president on what he said, we can also judge on what he did not say. So by demonizing Globe and Smart, I think he's setting the stage to do an excuse for the third player ng kanyang kaibigan at saka China Telecom who cannot deliver the promises by December. No? Like for instance, 2,500 cell sites by December in 5 months. About 25 billion pesos of investment, saan nila kukunin yun? Kaya habang medyo nakikita na pagpalpak nila sa droga, palpak nila sa corruption, palpak na rin yung third player na darating. Kaya bago pa ma-blame ng publiko siguro, ay blame na niya yung existing players. Kaya medyo palusot kaso hindi lusot.
Okay. Well, that is the usual issues and usual analysis, no? Pero there was something that the president directly and almost directly referred to in his speech, which related to what you are saying, yung nationalization
Oh,
of TV frequencies, nationalization of telecoms. Ikaw, economist,
expropriation ang term niya eh.
okay,
Oh,
expropriation.
expropriation, ibig sabihin,
Ano ang impact niyan sa investments and sa business? Kasi may mga magsasabi, wag mong pansinin si Presidente. Siyempre, na yan eh. Kailangan niyang magpakita ng power and ng force. Pero in real terms, yung actual na nangyayari sa business and economy, how does the term expropriation or the concept of nationalization impact business?
very negative Cito. Tingin ko nga, habang nakikinig siguro si Secretary Sani Dominguez, umiiling-iling o kaya nagtatakip ng mukha. Kasi yung mga statement niya na yan, wala yun sa script ng SONA eh. Para bang at the back of his mind, of his unconscious mind, he has deep anger, deep angst against the so-called oligarch na kinakalaban na. Pero marami na mga so-called oligarch na hindi niya binibira. So, like for instance, sa stock market, as of year to date, meaning from January 1 to July, say at least today, the stock market is down by negative 25%. For the past 52 weeks, down by about 22%. We are the worst performing stock market in the whole Pacific since the past few months until yesterday. So, andyan na yun. Tingin ko madadagdagan pa yun. Baka from negative 25% magiging minus 26, minus 27% yun today. Tapos, pag tingnan natin sito yung total foreign direct investment inward, as of 2019, we only have about $87 billion total accumulated investment. Whereas doon sa mga neighbors natin like Vietnam, they have about $160 billion. Thailand, more than $300 billion. Compared to ASEAN, tayo yung kulila. Tapos darating ganyan pa yung salita ng presidente. Parang, kaya nga sinasabi ko is moving backwards eh. It's not inspiring businesses, but rather discouraging businesses. Hindi magandang sinabi niya kahapon.
Are you convinced? Kasi hindi ba nung he started talking about the returned frequencies ay gagamitin for education, which I mean, honestly, as long as those frequencies of Channel 2 that were taken back from them, don't go to private hands, parang medyo kampante, quiet ako kasi parang at least walang vested interest na nakinabang and pupunta sa education. Pero yung sinabi ni Presidente when he mentioned, I am calling on Secretary so-and-so, Secretary so-and-so, Secretary, I think he called out about 8 secretaries to form a committee of something. Parang, sandali, ano ito? Are we talking frequencies or are we talking about expropriating the ABS-CBN facilities?
Yun nga, expropriation ang sinasabi niya, ang lalabas doon eh. Kaya saka telecom, he is very explicit, expropriate ko yan sa gobyerno. So sorry. So for ginawa niya, parang pinipil out of nowhere for the next 5 months, kailangan mag-improve kayo. Tapos, pero naman siyang ginawa na sinabi na hindi totoo yun. Sinasabi niya na pag tumawag ka for the past 10 years, the number cannot be reached. Kaya nangyari yun. Hindi naman, tingin ko gawa-gawa na lang yun eh. Just to justify yung kanyang yung agenda. But sa ABS-CBN, oo.
Oh, no, kasi
Yes.
parang, I want to remain respectful of President Duterte, no?
Oo.
Pero I'm beginning to suspect kasi this is the second incident. The first incident is yung sa mask. He recently, last week, nagsalita siya na ang mga tao hindi nagmamaskara, dapat arestuhin ng mga PNP. And yet, in a survey, it showed that we were the second most compliant pagdating sa pagsusuot ng mask. Now here, ito na naman yung sinasabi mo ngang itong the number cannot be reached. Medyo it's not as rampant as it used to be. In fact, very much
Oo.
improved. So, is it possible that the president is being fed, inaccurate information or wrong information?
To be honest, Cito, I think he is given good information but he's simply dishonest. Parang parang katulad nung sinasabi niya na pag hindi ko natapos yung drug by in 3 months, I will resign. Parang bula-bula lang. So, tapos yung nangyari kahapon sa SONA, out of nowhere, gumawa naman siya ng bula-bula. So, like you, I also do not want to be too negative about the president. But I think as an independent observer, I have to be honest about it, that he's just making up stories. He's dishonest to the public, he's dishonest to the country just to make himself or his administration pogi or to cover up for whatever failures they have done and inactions that they have not inactions that they have committed.
Okay, let's just say that we are beating a dead horse. Kumbaga you cannot make things any worse from that perspective. What are we supposed to do at this stage? Kasi parang kanya-kanya na ang labanan nito. If the national government is at a loss with what to do with COVID-19, the economy is in tatters, and we cannot put up a fight or resistance against China. Yun nga, yung isa pang point na yun, yung sa China. What's your take on that?
Well, parang sinabi niya na kay Xi Jinping, kunin niyo na yung iba, total kaya niyo naman lahat kasi ang kanyang binary yung kanyang pag-iisip eh. So if you have the claim, kailangan via military way, hindi gaano yung diplomatic way. Na mali kasi kung ginamit lang niya yung diplomatic way, like for instance yung PCA ruling in 2012, yung sa The Hague, ginagamit ng Amerika, ginagamit ng Vietnam, ginagamit ng Australia, ginagamit ng Indonesia, etc. Almost all countries which have interest in the area in South China Sea, West Philippine Sea are quoting the PCA ruling in 2012 except President Duterte. Kaya ang pinalakas lang niyang loob na, sige, Xi Jinping, papasukin niyo na yung Coast Guard niyo, papasukin niyo yung Navy niyo, papasukin niyo na yung aircraft carrier niyo, at hands off na ako kasi parang ang sa inyo na yan kasi I have no way to defend or to assert our proper rights in that area, which is a very negative, somehow very explicit message to Xi Jinping. Kaya tingin ko pumapalakpak yung tenga saka pumapalakpak ang mga mga miyembro ng China Communist Party ngayon.
Okay, I'm still really struggling to find something na medyo we can be positive. Ngayon, isang bagay na na-notice ko kahapon is the issue on the Land Use Act and the death penalty. Kasi ni-review ko yung summary ng Philippine Star sa headline, sa front page. There were 21 points mentioned by the President. Mukhang ang dadalawa lang ang bago. Yung Land Use Act and the fact that hindi pumapasa yung death penalty, yun, is that parang ginagawa ni Presidente, sige, pagbigyan ko na kasi may mga tao dyan sa Senado o sa congressman na landlords, yung death penalty, sige, total, pwede namang pag-usapan niya. Sabi ni Presidente, konti ang pumalakpak din sa death penalty, parang ayaw ninyo.
Sa death penalty, parang parang usual na message na patatapon ko yun sa Manila Bay, patatabayin ko yung mga isda doon with dead bodies, etc. So I think that ang hindi niya talaga mapakita is the improvement in the justice system, no, that people can rely on fair and unbiased justice system. So pag nakaakusahan ka, dapat you should have go through due process, hindi yung katulad ng tokhang na patay agad. So parang pasikat na naman na macho, death penalty, I will kill you, etc. PI, etc. So ganun, pamacho effect. Yung tungkol naman sa Land Use Act, actually isa sa problema doon, ang problema doon ay yung land conversion kasi parang kadalasan yun nagiging money making yan ng mga taga-DAR. Kasi you need may sinabi siya tungkol sa mass housing na kailangan para people will have affordable housing. Pero ang kailangan sa mass housing is easier land conversion, say from idle land into mass housing. Pero yung National Land Use Act, pahirap yun eh. Kaya tingin ko the way the bill was crafted is more of an disincentive to mass housing as well as in an agribusiness development. So madali pakinggan na pero pagdating mo doon sa details sa provision ng bill ay hindi maganda. It is against agribusiness, it is against mass housing. The way the Land Use Act bill has been crafted in the previous Congress and even in the present Congress.
So yung version ngayon, yung existing version ng Land Use Act, pag natuloy, ikimamatay ng agrikultura at ng housing para sa mga mahihirap. Ngayon, yung sa death penalty, ano ba yun? Anong tawag nila doon? Palabas lang ba yun? Kasi parang nagtataka ako when the president wants something from Congress, he almost always gets it. But these two bills, he parang okay lang, hindi siya hindi siya talaga siniseryoso ng Kongreso.
Kasi yung trend kasi internationally is moving away from death penalty. We're moving towards more humanitarian society. So kung gusto mo, pakainin mo na lang habang buhay, pero huwag mong kasi it's so grotesque, no? Saka yun na nga ang parang sa COVID yan, merong false positive and false negative, no? So ganun din yun sa mga naakusahan ng mga death penalty. These are false criminals. So ngayon kung talaga namang hindi talaga guilty yung tao at tapos binitay mo o na lethal injection mo, it's very, very unfair kasi talagang state-sponsored murder yung death penalty. Kaya hanggat maaari ayaw gawin ngayon ng ayaw tanggapin yun ng publiko at saka ng legislators kasi you just improve the justice system. Kasi kung ako criminal, if my chance of being caught is small, kasi may connection ako, if my chance of being incarcerated is small, I will continue being a criminal. So it's not the death penalty or the threat of being fed to the sharks that will scare me. It's the certainty of being convicted and being arrested that will scare me. So since hindi siya makapagyabang doon sa justice system, sa rule of law, ay yun na lang, macho effect, death penalty, lethal injection, kill, etc.
Okay, well, Nonoy, as usual, you are unfiltered. You do your best to be objective and sana kapulutan din ng kaalaman ng mga ibang tao. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Nonoy.
Salamat, Cito.
Okay, that's Mr. Nonoy Oplas, columnist of Business World, one of our sister companies in the One News group. And we will go for a break. And when we return, pag-usapan po natin yung issue ng mga libo-libong LSI na pumunta sa Rizal Memorial Stadium hindi para manood ng basketball, kung hindi para maghanap ng masasakyan. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda. And just to remind our viewers there, if you are watching us via Facebook, wala pa kayong Signal TV at mahilig kayo sa basketball, lalo na pag NBA, I would like to invite you to consider subscribing to Signal TV because NBA is back on Signal TV. Siyempre, malalaro rin yan dyan sa TV5, One News PH, I hope. Pero para sa mga mahilig, kasi tayo, medyo hindi na tayo pwede dyan sa mga ganyang sport. Alam nyo, pang-ano lang tayo, pang-artista lang tayo, as in artistic at arte-arte. In any case, there you go. The game you love is home. NBA is now on Signal TV and TV5. Ayan po, Catch the Live Games starting July 31, 2020. Okay, bago tayo magkaubusan ng oras, puntahan na natin ang next guest natin. He currently serves as the lead convener of the Hatid Tulong program, and wherein the government sends locally stranded individuals back to their home provinces. He is also the Presidential Management Staff Assistant Secretary Joseph Encabo. Asek Encabo, good morning.
Good morning po, Sir Cito, and it's an honor to be in your program.
Okay, wag kang mag-alala, relax lang tayo this morning, Asek, no? I want you to have the opportunity to explain kasi pag pinapanood ko yung Facebook, medyo honestly, Asek, puputok talaga yung dibdib ko sa sama ng loob. Sabi ko, di bali man lang sana kung naglalaro yung San Miguel, yung or whatever, no? Yung Beermen o yung Gin Kings, pero parang sabi ko, kawawa naman to, libo-libo. Ano ba nangyari doon? Kasi dati, yung LSI na nakikita namin, siguro mga 100, 200 doon sa may airport. Itong nangyari sa Rizal Memorial, ewan ko, baka exaggerated. Puno daw yung Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Ano ba nangyari, Asek?
Well, Sir Cito, no, I'll explain to the public what really transpired last week, no, and on the start of our second send-off. Last week po, nag-umpisa po kami magbigay ng advisory sa mga LSIs natin na pupunta sila sa Rizal Memorial Sports Center or Coliseum, doon sa baseball stadium, sa takdang araw ng kanilang biyahe. No? At the Secretariat created a text blasting advisory to all LSIs na pre-registered po. At yun po ay nagampanan namin.
Ilan yung pre-registered, Asek Encabo?
Well, nasa mga 6,000 po yung pre-registered natin.
Okay.
Yung nag-text blast po kami ng technical working group, ay napansin po namin, pagdating ng Lunes pa lang, or days before the send-off, marami na pong mga LSIs na dumadagsa sa Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. At obserbahan po namin, Sir Cito, aming nakita din na sila po they're staying on the streets, no? And kinausap po namin sila at pinakausapan na kung pwede babalik muna dahil sa Sabado pa po yung send-off natin. Ngunit ayaw po nilang bumalik. At talagang pumipilit po sila to stay nearby PSC Rizal Memorial para po makakuha po sila at maka-avail po ng libreng sakay through the Hatid Tulong initiative. Days before the send-off, inulan po sila ng 2 gabi at kinamugaan hanggang hapon ay nakaka-experience po sila ng matinding init ng araw. Naawa po yung technical working group dahil talagang apektado ang mga bata, mga buntis, mga senior citizen at PWD. At sa araw na bago kami nagpapasok, inulan po kami kaya biglaan po yung pagpasok ng mga tao. No? It was all of a sudden, biglang may buhos ng ulan at mabilisan po yung pagpasok ng mga tao. Kaya nagkaroon po ng pagkukumpul and convergence of people inside the baseball stadium. But after the rain, hours after the rain, talagang inasikaso naman po namin, Sir Cito, at transfer po natin yung ibang mga LSIs sa adjacent stadium ng Philippine Sports Commission Rizal Memorial. At in-implement po namin yung social distancing kasi nga po pinalabas sa Facebook, sa ibang social media platform na talagang nawala yung essence and relevance ng social distancing. Ginawa na po natin ang paraan sa tulong ng Philippine National Police, ng mga military at Philippine Coast Guard na to instill discipline and order doon sa mga LSIs na pumasok po sa stadium.
Okay, Joseph, I want to be fair to you. So, ina-analyze ko yung senaryo, no? Una't una, pre-reg sila. So, dinaan ito sa text blast.
Opo.
Okay. Paano sila na pre-register? Kasi parang, ewan ko, paki-explain mo nga sa akin. Kasi bakit Rizal Memorial Baseball Stadium, saan yung office nyo? Paano ninyo na-coordinate itong LSI movement and pre-registration?
Sa aspeto naman po ng pre-registration, Sir Cito, ito po ay mga endorse ng LGUs. Dahil ang mga LSIs na yan ay humingi po ng tulong sa mga kanya-kanyang LGUs nila.
Okay.
Na sila po stranded sa Kamaynilaan at sa mga ibang karatig na lalawigan. And the LGUs consolidated the names and endorsed these names to our technical working group. Then that's the start of our process by validating them, calling them one by one, getting the information, and put them in the enrolled list. Second, there are also foundations that are endorsing because these foundations are helping the LSIs. No? May mga ibang foundations na nagpapakain sa kanila, providing them temporary shelter in a certain period. Yung nalaman ng mga foundations na mayroong mga ganitong inisyatibo, then they coordinated with us and provide us with the list. Third, yung mga LSIs na yung mga OFWs na papaalis pa lang, ay humingi po sila ng tulong sa OWA, sa DOLE, no? Yung mga stranded local tourists, yung mga estudyante na kailangan nang umuwi dahil patapos na po yun o natapos na po kanilang klase. Yung po ang mga categories natin ng mga LSIs kung saan sila po ay humingi ng tulong sa mga iba't ibang ahensya. At yung mga ahensya naman po yun ay pinasa din po sa amin. Then again, we do the same process of validating these people.
Okay. Okay, no. So initially pag papakinggan kita, maayos naman eh. May NGO, may barangay, merong church, whatever, in-endorse sa opisina ninyo, Hatid Tulong Program. So sa Presidential Management Staff. So kayo, gumawa kayo ng listahan. Saan ngayon nagkagulo-gulo? Kasi alam mo, kailangan malaman ito ng Pangulo o ng IATF. They need to understand the situation. Kasi if the LGUs, NGOs endorse to you, then they should be the control point at hindi sila dapat magpapadala o papayag na mag-alisan, maglabasan yung mga tao ng basta-basta. Kasi I would think, kung po ako yung barangay captain, o sige, nakarehistro na kayo kay Joseph, pero magkikita-kita tayo dito sa Sabado ng umaga kasi sabi ni Joseph, Sabado ng hapon may mga sasakyan. So, pangalawa, paano, ilan libo ka mo lahat yan, Joseph, yung pinagkasya ninyo dyan sa baseball gym na yan?
Nasa mga 6,000 po, pero yung iba naman po ay nasa football stadium.
Oo, pero so ilan libo lahat yun? More or less, estimate lang.
Nasa mga 6,000 po.
6,000?
More or less
Okay.
6,000.
Kasi alam mo, Joseph, maglakad lang yung 300, meron nga, nagprotesta lang na 20, nakulong lahat eh. Nagtataka ako, paano nakagalaw ang 6,000 inside Metro Manila, all converging on the Rizal Memorial Complex na hindi nasita ng mga pulis?
Well, alam niyo po, Sir Cito, naging masunuri naman po yung mga pre-registered LSIs, na to be fair with them. Kasi
Oo.
nga, may mga tao talagang pumunta sa takdang araw na nagbiyahe.
Okay.
Ngunit, ang mga ginawa ng mga ibang LSIs, nung nakatanggap sila ng mga advisory, nagpasapasahan po sila sa mga ibang LSIs na kakilala nila and inviting them at their own initiative na pupunta sa Rizal Memorial, at yun po ang kalalabasan ay marami po tayong walk-ins. No?
Ayun, hindi. Yun nga ang punto ko. Hindi naman sa inaaway ko yung PNP, no? Kasi lumabas ka lang nitong barangay namin at wala kang dahilan para lumabas, masisita ka sigurado. And marami pa ring mga nagsisita ng mga kung sino. And it's just hard to imagine hundreds, if not thousands of people converging on Rizal Memorial. And kasi hindi ikaw yung problema eh. Ikaw yung namroblema. Ikaw ngayon yung binabanatan sa Facebook. Pero yung dapat na sumala, the people who should have screened, filtered, and blocked and checked all of these people, anyari, nasan sila?
Actually po, Sir Cito, bago po nag-umpisa yung proseso, talagang inayos po namin yung linya, yung per week na pasok, no? Nagkaroon po ng proper flow ng entry ng mga tao. Nangyari lang po namin, hindi po kami nakahanda. Nung bigla na po kami inulan at lahat po ng mga tao ay gusto to seek shelter, no? Sa stage 2. Dahil yun nga, nagsisiksika na po. Lahat po ay papunta na sa entrance, ayaw naman din po ng PNP na magkakaroon ng stampede. Kaya po, nagkaroon po ng free-flowing ng pagpasok doon sa stadium, at doon po nagkaroon po ng unavoidable and unappreciated convergence of mixed people doon sa baseball stadium.
Kasi iisipin mo, Joseph, after 4 months of training and exercise, dapat alam na natin yung pagsasala ng mga pumapasok sa mga barabarangay or people who are entering. Kasi intercity, this is an intercity movement of hundreds if not thousands of individuals. I'm sure those at the checkpoints, police precincts should have noticed it. So, ewan ko, kasi alam mo na, awa ko sa'yo, Joseph, and I'll be very honest with you, no? Hindi kita kilala. Nung nakita ko yung statement mo sa Facebook na you allowed it out of compassion, pasensya ka na, I'm saying this out of respect. Gusto kitang sapukin. Kasi sabi ko, anong compassion ka? Libo-libo yung pinapasok mo dyan, magkakasakit lahat yan, magkakahawahan. And now I realize, and I thank God, I really thank God and my team na nakuha ka, so that at least in fairness to you and to the program, wala kayong magawa kasi binaha kayo, so to speak, tinamaan kayo ng tsunami ng tao. Okay, so at least sana kung nakikinig sila General Eliazar at yung ating mga IATF, maimbestigahan yan. Paano nangyari? Kasi kayo ang nabubugbog ngayon, kayo ang minumura at kayo ang sisisihin ng mga mayor at gobernador pag kumalat ang COVID sa kanila dahil dito. Now, matanong ko, moving forward, para positive naman tayo, Joseph. Paano ginawa ninyong testing? Kasi alam mo, meron na ngayong pangamba, and I'm sorry, no, I don't want to be the prophet of doom, pero yung rapid test daw, medyo hit and miss eh. Ano bang ginamit nyo? Rapid test daw ang ginamit nyo dyan sa LSIs?
Yes, sir. Ito naman po yung premise ng medical protocol natin po, Sir Cito. Na magkakaroon po ng rapid testing at saka medical triage ang mga LSIs, na this process is being administered and managed by the Department of Health and other medical personnel who are supporting the DOH in this particular process. No? And since rapid testing po ang ginamit natin with the facilitation of medical check-up din, ang agreement po ng technical working group with LGUs, the receiving LGUs, is upon arrival of the LSIs, they will undergo swab test, RT-PCR, and at the same time compel these people to undergo 14-day quarantine before they will go back to their respective homes. So I think the medical protocol from the point of origin to the point of destination is well appreciated by DOH. And this is also in accordance to the IATF guidelines.
Okay, so kung meron mang may tama, kahit papano ay masasala. But here's
Yes,
my
sir.
question. You have reported 8 to 9 positive cases. Ngayon, parang ang liit naman nun, bro. 8 to 9 lang out of 6,000. Tapos nagkadikit-dikit na ganyan. Yung iba natutulog na lang sa ilalim ng puno. I wish it's only 8 to 9. I hope it's only 8 to 9. Pero yun lang.
Well, that the nine COVID the 9 rapid test LSIs na negative was given to me last Sunday. But as of this data, Sir Cito, we already have around 16 na nag-positive sa rapid test. And those 16 individuals are now currently in place sa ating quarantine facility, no? And they are now closely monitored and supervised by our doctors and DOH. And they already went through the swab test and they're now waiting for their results, no? Kasi confirmatory test po yun, Sir Cito. Now,
Okay.
we will submit to the guidance of the DOH as to whether or not papauwiin sila kung negative sila sa swab test, because there will be further medical check-up on them. If positive sila, itutuloy po sila sa quarantine, no? Definitely, and closely monitored and managed by our doctors.
Okay, sabi mo kanina yung marami kayong mga pinre-register. Na-profile ba natin itong mga taon to? Kasi ang tanong dito, yung bang mga LSIs natin sa Metro Manila, ano ang karamihan? Sila ba ay mga, kasi katulad nung aming maid, after 4 months, hindi na niya matiis na hindi makita yung mga anak niya. So ginawa ko, pinadala ko siya sa Rizal Medical Center, pinatesting namin siya, pati kami nagpa-test na, nag-coordinate kami sa barangay, and then after na-coordinate, doon, sige, pinahatid na namin, pwede namang mapahatid. Pero yung mga iba, ano bang klase o ano bang mga background ng mga LSI natin, Joseph?
Well, unang-una, no, may mga LSIs po na mga parents na binisita yung mga anak nila. Kasi yung sa buwan ng Marso ay sila po yung tumutulos kanilang anak sa patapos sa kanilang pag-aaral.
Correct.
Kung naabutan sila ng lockdown, ay hindi na po sila nakaalis ng Manila. Pangalawa, yung mga applying OFWs na about to be deployed outside, ay nag-lockdown international flights at natenga na po sa may Kamanilaan at saka sa airport at wala na po ibang source of income or financial capability to sustain themselves. Pangatlo, mayroon po tayong mga local tourists na kung saan nagiging transient lang sila at pupunta sana sa ibang probinsya para mamasyal sa Pilipinas, ay naabutan din po ng lockdown sa Kamanilaan. And lastly, yung mga workers po natin, yung mga contracted local workers natin sa construction, sa mga ibang workers na nag-seminar, na nagkaroon ng training, may binisita. It's a mixture of different stranded individuals with different objectives and costs sa pagbisita sa Manila.
Alam mo, ang tanong ko kasi dyan, Joseph, no, I really don't know how to ask this question or make this statement. Kasi parang naisip ko, okay, 6,000 yan, nagkasiksikan na dyan sa baseball stadium. Karamihan dyan, kanya lang naman naipit dyan kasi walang masakyan pa uwi. Eh kahit naman may masakyan kang pa uwi, kunyari katulad ikaw o ako, pumunta tayong Baguio, sasabihin ni Mayor Magalong, Cito, kahit na media ka, kailangan mag-triage ka dito, kailangan magpa-swab test ka dito, at kailangan mag-quarantine ka. So parang ang feeling ko, imbis na mamroblema ka, ikaw ASEC Encabo o si Senator Bongo o yung gobyerno, baka mabuti pa pag-usapan na sa IATF kahit na limited din, pabayaan ng makabiyahe ang tao sa bus o sa eroplano kasi parang walang katapusan yan. Kahit kumaliwa ka, kumanan ka, may problema eh. It's an imperfect situation as the President said, and our only remedy, if you want to call the baseball stadium a remedy, is actually even worse. And I'm sure you will agree on that. So are you in any position or kaya bang is-suggest na lang ni Senator Bongo dahil idea naman yung balik probinsya na yan, idea niyan, buksan na natin yung mga, yung mga bus lines dyan, Partas, Piltrangco ba yun, whatever, at saka yung mga ferry boat.
Alam niyo po, Sir Cito, that particular principle of opening the regional routes, no, of
Para lang makauwi. Kasi
Yes,
ang
opo.
dami pa dito eh. Ang dami pang nakikitira dito, nakikisiksik dito, ayaw naman nila dito pero wala silang masakyan kasi yun ang problema. Hindi naman anything else eh.
Totoo po yan. I totally agree with you, Sir Cito, on that perspective. No? And actually, sir, there was already an initial proposal of the technical working group of somehow to open the regional routes to mga LSIs, just to have the chance to go home coming from their own efforts, no? Without imposing some moratoriums on yung mga huli na yan, just even in a limited period of time, just to come up with a good movement of LSIs going back to their respective provinces. However, we respect the guidelines of the IITF. No, there are a lot of explanations that were given to us. And of course, because of this pandemic, we submit to their guidance. And into this effect, the President, as the presidential directive provided to us, is to really extend transportation assistance to these LSIs. On the part of Senator Bongo, he's also supporting, sir, because this is a whole of government approach. No? It is not only one agency that is handling this, but the inter-collaboration of the different government agencies to provide transportation assistance to the LSIs.
Well, I understand that. I understand that, Joseph, no, and I respect that. Kaya lang siguro dapat pag-usapan ninyo. Ako tanong ko na lang sa iyo meron bang high-ranking officer ng IATF na nag-ikot-ikot diyan sa 6,000 na yan, na nagkaipit-ipit diyan? Palagay ko medyo dumistansya rin sila at baka tamaan sila ng COVID. Anyway, binigyan na kita ng pagkakataon maglinaw, so let's leave it at that kasi pag pinahaba natin tong discussion, overtime na ako at saka medyo umiinit na yung ulo ko kasi nagsabi ka na naman ng IATF eh. Sorry, as much as I try to support, pag one way masyado ang solution, pag ang decisions is done one way and not, as you said, whole of nation, whole of government, mag-aaway-away ang tao. In any case, thank you, Joseph Encabo, ASEC Encabo, naliwanagan mo and sana yun sa mga nanonood sa Facebook, wag naman nyo pong i-crucify si Joseph. Siya po ay nagsisilbi lang. Salamat, ASEC.
Sir Cito, it's an honor to be joining in your program. And thank you for the opportunity of allowing me to explain the entire scenario. And rest assured po, with the guidance of other officials and with your perspective, we will do our best to adopt new approaches in order to serve these LSIs in a better condition and setup po.
Okay,
And
thank
let's
you.
continue to pray and hoping that this crisis will be over soon for the good of
Thank
our
you.
nation.
Okay, thank you. And that's ASEC Joseph Encabo. Siya po ang namamahala ng pagbibigay tulong sa pagbalik probinsya ng mga locally stranded individuals. Yun lang po, hindi ko na po papahabain doon sa mga tiga-IATF. I know you mean well. I know you're doing your job. Pero sometimes buksan nyo yung tenga ninyo at isipan ninyo sa obvious. Ayan, gumawa tayo ng balik probinsya, hatid probinsya, kasi gusto ni Presidente, pinus ni Senator Bongo. Okay, ano nangyari? Dinagsa, inulan, binaha ng tao. Pagdating naman nila dito pa lang, naka-triage na sila, naka-swab sila. Pagdating doon sa probinsya nila, gano'n na naman, ikwa-quarantine sila, ita-triage, i-swab sila. Di buksan na lang natin yung mga ilang bus, ilang eroplano at ilang barko. Ganon din naman dahil hindi naman yung lahat yung mga na-trap dyan ay mga mahirap na Pilipino na walang pera. Nagkaubusan na lang ng pera kasi sa tagal naghahanap ng paraan makauwi dahil wala namang kabuhayan dito. Ano nangyari? Di tayo ang sumalo ng problema. Yun po, let's open our minds, our ears, and our hearts to what is obvious and try to work together on solutions. There is no perfect solution. Okay? The only perfect solution I can think of right now is for all of our viewers, all of my friends, all of our listeners, please, let's pray for wisdom to be imparted by the God Almighty upon our leaders, decision makers, and all Filipinos para makagawa tayo ng solusyon na may saysay at hindi po puro praning, politika, or pamimersonal. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.